Hello,
Hey there, Damon.
how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Are you back from Europe now?
Yeah, I've been back for about I guess 2 weeks.
Cool. Did you have a
Yeah, it
great
was
time?
awesome. Oh my gosh, yeah, it was really great. This first time in Spain. Um, and I'm definitely going to go back.
Yeah, I'd love to go there. Haven't made it yet.
That was beautiful.
Cool. Hey, well, that's awesome. Well, welcome home. I know you have your plate full now.
Yeah, I actually had to do I had volunteered for a World Association of Marching Bands competition up in the northern part of the state. So as soon as I got back from Spain, I had to go up and spend like 5 days up there, working on that. But
Oh, that's cool. That sounds
yeah,
pretty fun.
yeah, it was pretty neat.
Yeah, fantastic. Cool. And happy anniversary to WTSQ as well.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, 8 years.
It's
We're
awesome. I can't believe
in
it.
year nine now. Nine is the special number, right?
I guess so. Well, welcome. I'm glad you were able to make it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the GRC monthly meetup. We appreciate you all being here. I'm Sharon Scott. I'm with WXOX in Louisville, Kentucky. Just by default, the one who set up the Zoom meeting. So glad to have you all here. I'll just let everybody introduce themselves as we're waiting for people to file in. Michelle, I see you're out there. Hello.
I'm here. Shel Bradley, founder of REC Networks.
Welcome. Great to see you. Antonio.
Hey everyone, I'm Antonio Echeverria, also from WXOX.
Great to see you. Sort of. Great to hear you anyway.
Uh,
Everybody else just jump in. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
well, I'm
Well,
Damon, WTSQ, and organizing one of the organizers for the Grassroots Radio Conference.
uh, I'm Michael Lundy from WXPI in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and glad to be finally on board here with y'all.
Yeah, cool. Great to see your studio. It's awesome. Looks neat.
Mhm.
Jump in there, anyone. Oh,
My
sorry.
name's, my name's Sue. I'm from Canada, and I'm not a part of a radio station. I've just been a listener for the past 35 years. So
Cool. Welcome. Glad to have you.
thanks.
Listeners are an important part of the equation.
Right. Definitely.
Hi, I'm Janelle. I'm the station manager at 94.9 KZAX in Bellingham, Washington. Whee!
Cool station. Awesome. Welcome. Betty, how are you feeling?
Oh, so much better, so much better. Lingering tiredness is about the only thing that's still there.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. It goes on for a little while, but hopefully you'll get through it. Looking good.
Thank you.
Is that your first time?
Yes, yes.
Wow. You held out for a while.
Yeah, well, then I got careless.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, we're all kind of just going back to things now.
We went to the Waterfront Blues Festival, and there were, thousands of people there, and somebody gave me a bug.
Mm.
Well, I'm glad you're on the other side of it now. That's
Thank
important. Yeah, great. Good. Michael doing all right too?
Yeah, he had it too, and he's doing just fine. He's even better than I am.
Cool. Good.
He
Well,
may come on the meeting, he may not.
okay. I know all our engineers are getting really busy already, probably. Lloyd, hey Lloyd. Great that you made it. I don't know if we're getting your audio. Work on that. And Ben, hello, welcome.
Yeah, the unmute wasn't working.
Oh, there's
Looks like
there's Lloyd.
looks like it's okay now.
Yeah, we hear you.
Lloyd Ewing.
Lloyd, you're down in Texas, correct?
That's right.
What part of Texas are you in? Remind me.
Austin, Texas.
Cool. Awesome. Well, great. I'm glad you're able to join us. And then we've got Ben Johnson. And David, hi. welcome. You're just in time.
Oh, hi.
I was gonna put you on the spot. You're the last one to introduce yourself. We're just introducing ourselves, so just quick introduction.
Oh, yeah. I'm David Klon, broadcast tool and die, WORT, WDRT, WNUC, all those things. Yeah.
Awesome, great. Well,
Thanks.
and manager of the GRC listserv, no less.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Keeping up with that. And thanks for getting all our new folks added.
Sure.
Excellent. Well, welcome everyone. We'll go ahead and start. I'm sure more people will jump in as we're here, but feel free to come and go as you please. But exciting topics again this week. We've got, of course, the GRC 2023 coming up, our first in-person GRC since 2019. So it's very exciting. And we've got Damon Carter on the line. He's from WTSQ. So Damon, in 1 second, I'll hand it over to you and just but let everyone know that after we kind of talk about some GRC stuff, we're going to get back into the LPFM conversation because there's a new window opening up, as everyone knows, for LPFM stations November 1st through 8th. So it's a big job of ours, the community radio world, to get the word out about this and try to get nonprofits to apply nationwide. So that's something I'd really like to talk about. Betty and Michelle and David have all worked behind the scenes and helping people get on the air. So kind of want to hear from you and figure out what our steps are, to getting the word out about this whole thing. But welcome everyone again, and let's hand it over to Damon and hear what's going on with WTSQ and their planning for the GRC this year, which is going to be October 19th through 22nd in Charleston, West Virginia.
Yeah, so I've been getting, we've made some a lot of progress. It's astounding how much help we're getting just from the community and people pitching in and trying to support this at a local level. So I've also gotten a lot of feedback from people who are visiting the web page, and helping me to add information. I was hoping to have our host hotel nailed down yesterday, but there was a glitch in their planning, and they don't have I don't know that they're going to be able to accommodate us all. So we might end up with 2 host hotels, but we're looking at some pretty good rates. Like we know that we can get a block of rooms for like $115 a night at the Marriott. We're thinking that we can get a block of rooms at the Embassy Suites for around 130. So we might need to go with 2 different locations in order to get the discounts out to everybody, just because of things that are going on. And we learned that Styx is playing on Friday night at the arena, so I guess that they're going to flood the town with Styx fans. I did update some of the travel stuff and put some links to Yeager International Airport, and information about taxis and driving, where we are. You can get here by Amtrak. That was actually something that was pointed out to me by one of the people on the listserv, that he's planning on actually taking a train from, I guess, DC to Charleston. So I've updated as much as I can. Sponsors and vendors are still coming along really well. And you can read about who is helping us out with this on the website under that section. The session and agendas are starting to come together. It's starting to make more sense. Yesterday we walked through an old historic theater right downtown that we were kind of on the fence about, because a church had purchased it about 2 years ago, but they've basically not churched it up. It's a historical theater, and they've actually hired a theater manager who has a background in theater, and it's a beautiful place. I think this is going to be our central location. We can do sessions there. We can do our keynote and our major get-togethers when we all want everybody to be in the same room. We have a beautiful space to do that now. It's called Capitol Theater. It's on 123 Summer Street, which is right in the heart of the walking area, where we want to be. It seats 640 people. I'm not anticipating that we'll get 640 people, but this is the most exciting thing. I got an email from Dennis Moynihan from Democracy Now!, and he wants to have a call to confirm Amy Goodman's participation as the keynote speaker for the Grassroots Radio Conference. So we haven't had that conversation yet, but it sounds very promising. If he's saying, let's do a call to confirm, then I think we have a really good solid chance that she's going to be here. And I don't know if she'll be here the whole weekend or if she'll just be here for Friday. But we're still just building up momentum. We have, like I said, things are coming together. After I get off this call, I'm gonna shoot out, to the listserv and the other groups that I have to check the updates on the website so that people can see, that we are making progress. Steve Hoffman had also sent out information, and I can't remember the name of the network. I'm going to say it's like FCMR, but it's not LPFM stations, but it's community radio stations. And I've gotten a lot of feedback, and people from that network are responding and saying that they want to, participate as well. So I think, I probably only need maybe two or three at the most more presenters for sessions. And I think we're going to be solid. So it's coming together.
Damon,
Sure.
Those two hotels sound fine, and I'll probably get in one of them. But a lot of people that come to GRC have less money, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
What we did in 2018 in Portland is reserved a block at the local youth hostel. And a lot of folks went there to save money.
Mm-hmm. We don't have one.
Well, there's one a bit out of town. I took a look, but
oh, there is. Well, now I did post like some camping grounds. Like there's the Kanawha State Forest that has campgrounds and cabin rentals. I looked all over Kanawha County to find some places where people could, park their RVs and that kind of stuff. And unfortunately, you have to go a little bit further east and get into like Fayette County, where the New River Gorge and the Mon National Forest is, before you start to hit a lot of RV campsites and that sort of thing. But if you found something that I haven't seen, then I'm happy to, provide that information on the website and let people.
I'll shoot you a few suggestions, okay?
Absolutely. Yep, that'd be great.
Yeah, in the past, we had what we called indoor camping, where it was just carpeted floor where people could throw their sleeping bags. I was wondering if you thought about anything like that.
Good one, you, Lloyd.
Like where did you do that? Like guest homes, or like people were, how did that work?
That was just in the building. Well, the building was kind of a rustic old building. What was that? That was in
Was that Iowa?
no, it was in upstate New York, there at the Woodstock area.
Yeah.
But it was just another building in the complex where they had carpeted floor, and we just threw sleeping bags out and slept for free.
I'll have to just sort of run that through my head and think of all of the different venues that have been donated to us, because what's going to happen is, we'll have the theater as sort of our hub, but they're not going to be able to host all of the sessions in that one building. So we've got the Flora Lee Hart Cohen Theater that's going to be a good venue space. We've got the Kanawha County Public Library that has some really beautiful meeting space on Friday. That's also where we're going to have, we've gotten a donation from the owner of the coffee shop that vends out of the Kanawha County Library. So he's going to do free coffee and free breakfast sandwiches and some breakfast bars for us. each morning. The other donated spaces are in the People's Building, where we have, actually, you know what, now that I think about it, that might be an option. There is a very large space in the People's Building on the first floor that could be used for that kind of thing. Maybe people could put sleeping bags.
Hey, Joseph, nice to see you.
Thank
Yeah, so I'll just have to I'll have to brainstorm on that a little bit, but that's just one thing that it's just not been brought to my attention, or that I haven't even considered.
So
But
Damon, have you been to, I can never remember faces from year to year. Have you been to some of our past GRCs? I don't remember.
I was in Albany.
Okay.
Yep. And I'd actually driven my RV up there, and I camped out in a parking lot. I think it was just a random parking lot somewhere. I was probably illegally parked.
So does the Amtrak actually stop in the city, or
Yep.
do we have to get a Uber to get into the conference from Amtrak?
Yeah, it's across the river. I mean, you can walk. I mean, there's a bridge right there at the Amtrak station. You can walk across the bridge and you'll be right downtown. Yeah, it's less than a 10-minute walk, and you would be in the conference area.
I love
And
Amtrak.
yeah. It's a spotty schedule. I think, like, from DC, it's Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And then I think, like, Cincinnati is probably the next big city where they would, you would have a major station.
Awesome. That sounds great, Damon. It sounds like you all have a lot going on. Joseph and Jim have joined us a little bit late there. Sorry, guys. I don't know.
Hey, Joseph.
The link or whatever, but great to see you. Thank you for joining. The link does always go out to the GRC listserv, so be sure always, if you're not on that, make sure you get on that. Let myself or David Klon know. We want to make sure everybody gets invited, but Damon, just to catch you guys up, Damon has got a lot of things rolling for the GRC there at WTS2. And one thing, Jim, you'd be interested. It sounds like Amy Goodman is looking pretty likely for a keynote this year. We've been working on that for
great.
a long time. Yeah.
Excellent.
I know.
Always a good speech.
Also,
yeah. And I know Jim's done a lot of good legwork for that. Kind of priming the waters all these years, trying to get Amy to come to the conference. So maybe it'll actually happen. That'll be great. I
also put a bug in the ear of Gigi Sohn, and because I think she would be a good, especially with the adventures that she has had recently, in her attempt for confirmation. I haven't heard back, but I've thrown the bug in the ear, and extended the olive branch on behalf of the community. So I mean, she would be an interesting attendee to have there. Especially if for whatever reason Amy Goodman doesn't pan out, which I hope it does. I really hope it does. I am a big fan of Amy Goodman and Democracy Now! and such. One question that I have for I guess Damon or whoever, or in regards to the GRC, is there going to be any place where we could set up to maybe do some live broadcasting from a common area, like remotes?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the theater would be perfect for that. The theater has this really cool mezzanine where I think we'll be able to, accommodate a lot of the vendors that are planning on coming. And yeah, if you're talking about, just yeah, absolutely. I think there will be plenty of spaces to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's cool because we'll have our Play Out One system in and working by that time, and it'd be a cool chance to show off WebVT and some of the other stuff that the advanced Play Out One system can do. I'm not sponsored by them. They do provide REC with a lot of support, so I'm not coming on behalf of them or anything. But it would be cool to bring up a live broadcast and put it on Delmarva FM, and have have the world come and listen to us.
Yeah, of course.
Just
Yep.
some thoughts. I mean, I'll bring out some gear, and you know, just enough to set up so we could, you know, do a WebVT live mic session while we're out there, and give people a stream that they can go to. It's our normal Delmarva FM stream, which is mainly Pacifica all day and 70s and 80s all night. So you know,
Yeah, so
just having that as our little placeholder till we get our station in here one of these years.
yeah. Yeah, so the theater is, you know, ideal for that. It's, you know, the new owners of the theater have taken really good care of it. They've maintained the historical integrity of the church or of the theater, and they've got, you know, they do a lot, you know, they rent it out to you know, dance and theater and bands and all that kind of stuff. So it's, you know, it's well set up for, you know, producing good audio and recording and that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
Yep. Let me see if there's anything else that I can share. I was really excited to, again, I haven't had that confirmation call, but I was super excited to get that email from Dennis that he wants to have that call.
Yeah, that's great. Hi, Ted. Welcome. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Frida. Welcome.
Hello.
Great to see you all. What Damon's talking about is that it's looking good for Amy Goodman as a GRC keynote this year. They want to call to confirm her appearance. So that sounds pretty positive to me. That's exciting. And the hotel situation is looking good. The venue situation is looking good. We'll entertain ourselves, I'm sure. You know, we don't necessarily need to work too hard on that, although I know there's a lot of great music happening there.
Yeah, and we're still going to, you know, we still have that showcase of bands planned. If you look on the sessions and agenda schedule, you'll see that showcase of bands. You know, basically, you know, Friday night, they're going to be all over town, you know, playing in local venues. 4:30 to, you know, 8:30 or later, we're going to be on Slack Plaza, and they're going to be performing just for, you know, radio station people to hear their music. And the cool thing about having the theater is if it rains, we've got a rain venue. We can just have that, you know, happen in the 600 seat theater. I guess that's it. I mean, as far as you know, any updates on my end, I am committed to getting the hotels, you know, with where we're blocking rooms and offering discounts. I'm committed to getting that out this week. And we're working with the Charleston Convention and Visitors Bureau to help us negotiate these rates. And I you know, stress that I would like to have this settled, you know, and on the website with the links no later than the end of the week. So I'm pretty sure that will be able to happen.
Cool. Well, I do know a few more people that are interested in presenting, and maybe I'm not sure if they got the call for presenters. Can they still email you with that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great. All right. So we're gonna get your information in there. In the past, it's always been kind of a last minute thing, but it sounds like this group is really on the ball this year. So if you want to present, get your information in there. A lot to talk about this year, that's for sure. Cool. Anybody have further questions for Damon, or travel arrangements or logistics once you get there? Anything like that? I'll just say it's a beautiful town. It's kind of not. Frida, go ahead.
Let me make sure my mic is on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if there would be any billeting.
Billeting,
staying with people instead of in the hotel.
we can do, I mean, we can put out, you know, a request, you know, if anyone wants to volunteer to do some, I guess the original, airbed sharing, right? Is that, that's what Airbnb was supposed to be, like just, you know, inviting people into your home and crash on the couch. But yeah, we can reach out to some of our local volunteers and see if they want to host, people that are coming in for the
homestay.
Yeah, homestay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have about, I mean, you know, we have 40 to 50 volunteers that we can network with, and I can definitely put that out there.
Thanks.
Yeah, I did a homestay on one of the GRCs one year. Pretty
I think
interesting.
I've done a homestay at every GRC. It's more fun. Yeah.
It sounds like you've got a really good deal going with the room rates too, though. I think that's an advantage of Charleston, is not, super expensive.
Yeah,
to stay
yeah,
there,
I know.
so.
It's not, yeah, it's not like you're staying in a big city and paying $300 a night, right? It's
Yeah. And are the hotels kind of close to each other if we have to?
They are, yeah. The Marriott one is the furthest away, but we walked it yesterday, and it's literally 7 minutes from the front door of the Marriott to the downtown area, like to where all the stuff is going to be happening. And then
Great.
the embassy is it's right on the corner. It's less than 3 minutes away from the heart of the area where we're going to be.
Okay.
Eamon, do you know if these hotels are okay with people sharing a room? I'm sure that would be something that people might want to do to keep their own costs down.
I mean, what do you mean? I'm not sure.
I'm like
Two unrelated people checking in together,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I imagine when you make the reservation, you would just say, there's going to be, 2 people in this room, and you would give the names of the people who, that are staying there.
Okay.
And that way they can get their own key.
No marriage certificate required.
No,
Don't
not
have
in this
to
part
have
of the
the same
state.
last
Down
name.
in the southern part of the state, you have to go through all that stuff.
Well, cool. No, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's for you all who haven't been there, it's a very walkable, beautiful downtown, lots of cool art galleries and coffee shops, and a beautiful farmers market right on the river. And then, if you're looking for things to do there, I think the thing to do is get out in nature. And it's just the most beautiful area that you could imagine, especially in the fall and October. I'm sure it'll be gorgeous. So try to take it as a time to get out and hike in nature and just, reconnect. I think I'm really looking forward to it myself.
Yeah, it'll be peak fall color that week.
Yeah. Cool. Well, and people are welcome to Ruth. You're here in Louisville, so maybe we can do a caravan for folks who are in this part of the world, or if anyone wants to meet us here. But it's going to be great. I really do hope everyone will try hard to be there. I mean, I can't tell you how inspiring this conference is and how fun it is to be around different members of the radio community. We're kind of all out here doing our little thing, on our own. And so it's really wonderful when we can all come together and share war stories, especially, we've been through a lot the past 3 years. So it'll be great to be together and celebrate, share what we've learned, and just reconnect and get together once again. So I just really want to give it up to WTSQ, especially Damon. He's really the one who motivated to make this whole thing happen again for all of us. So Damon, thank you so much. You're doing a great job. Super excited. It's gonna be.
If you see anything, or like I said, anything that I'm overlooking or missing, just please shoot me a message and I'll get on it.
Cool. Well, great. Well, GRC folks, be sure to get the word out. I posted the link in the chat if you can scroll around and find that. Just please let all your friends know. I know you all are connected with different radio stations in different parts of the country, and it'd really be great to reach out to them and let them know. Maybe you all could caravan or something like that. But it's really important to get the word out, especially since we haven't done it in a few years. So let's just try to make this the best one yet. Really think it can be, because I know everyone's very, very excited to be together again. So awesome. I can't wait. I'm counting the days. It's going to be here before we know it, actually.
Oh yeah, yesterday was 90 days, I think.
Yeah. Wow.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Jim.
Hi. Yeah, you guys are doing really well. Counting down the days is the way to do it. How many days you got left to get everything done? I note that just about 2 weeks before the GRC, we'll be in Bangkok for the World Radio Congress for the Asian Pacific world. And we always try to have sort of an international component. People like Frieda and myself are always happy to share stories about doing radio around the world, trying to inspire young people to get the hell out of America. So the conference is called AMARC, A-M-A-R-C, which is a French acronym for the World Association of Community Radio Broadcasters. And that's going to be in Bangkok starting September 27 And we're going to go around there, and then I guess we'll chopper into Charleston after that. Anyhow,
Cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be amazing, Jim. I can't wait to hear all about that.
yeah. Also, another note: we're involved in the burning community. We consider ourselves burners, Burning Man, but we had never been to what they call the Big Burn, the thing in the desert. And we're doing that. We were gifted a couple of tickets to go to Burning Man, and I know they operate over-the-air radio stations, but I've never really had any connections with them. So I'm looking forward to reaching out to the Burning Man community and see what they're doing on the radio.
Yeah. That'll be cool, Jim. And I imagine out there, there'll be some LPFM frequencies available. Maybe they can get a Burning Man LP.
I'll let you know.
Okay, keep us posted. Yeah, I've listened to that. I've enjoyed listening to their radio station every year. I don't, at least over the internet. So
Right.
Let us know. That's cool.
Okay.
Great. Okay, thanks so much. And I just also want to thank Joseph Orozco and Ted Coe. They've been instrumental in making this conference happen. We've been meeting a little bit behind the scenes, trying to find a host this year and trying to give Damon and WTSQ a little bit of guidance, although they've done a great job on their own. So thanks, guys, for helping out with that. We've just found that Joseph's going to be able to make it all the way from Hoopa, California. Tell us about that, Joseph. I know the Association of Affiliates is going to help out.
Yes, I'm really excited. I haven't been to a radio conference in a couple of years now.
Cool, that's awesome. So Joseph's been the general manager of KIDE, Hoopa Tribal Radio.
Tribal Radio, yeah, the center of the world.
I bet. And we're working on, maybe we get a GRC out in that part of the world one of these days. I think that would be really exciting. So, but thanks. It's a really long journey for him to make it. And the Pacifica Association of Affiliates, which is a rather new organization that's trying to unite the Pacifica affiliates and get a little more communication and support going amongst those things. Joseph's on the board of that, as am myself. And through the Association of Affiliates, WNUC is going to help Joseph make his journey along with KIDE. They're going to support him to get out there. So just want to thank them. Joseph, will be wonderful to have you there. So good job.
That's the first I've heard of that.
The Association of
thank you.
Affiliates?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
we are a Pacifica affiliate over here, and this is the first I've heard of it.
Joseph, do you want to tell her?
It was something that was on the books set that we voted for years ago, and it was finally Robin Carter finally got it initiated this last year. So we have been operating for more than a year now as a board. So
well, send me some information. I'm
well, that's why
more about it.
Sharon and I are going to be at the tables.
Yeah,
maybe we could have a session or something.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do that. Yeah, for sure.
Have a cup of coffee or something,
Yeah, and just let people know what it's all about.
Yeah, Ursula actually did ask about, doing, having some space set aside for a meeting for that group, and that's not going to be a problem at all. We'll definitely be able to accommodate that.
Are we expecting Ursula?
She said she would make it.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, because it's always tradition that we have a Pacifica affiliates meeting on the very last day of the GRC.
Right.
And the purpose of the Association of the Affiliates, the main purpose when they roped me in was to vote once a year on the representatives that the associates send to the Pacifica National Board. There's 2 representatives on the Pacifica National Board that represent the affiliates. And this association was formed just so there was sort of a formal backing for those 2 individuals. That was coming through actual Pacifica member stations and not just random people showing up for those posts, is what I understand. Joseph, is that your understanding?
Yes, it was up to Ursula before, and she would by herself. And so now we have a board of 5 that are reaching out and trying to find some recruits. And get some
I'm liking this.
Who are the other board members, please?
We have Imgard Rob. She's with San Antonio, a community radio station in San Antonio. And then there is Reverend Joan Ross, who is up at WNUC. She's the chair of the board. And Joseph and myself.
And a vacancy.
And a vacancy.
Yes.
Um,
You too could be on the board.
yeah.
No.
No, not
A
me. I'm
Pacific
already
affiliate.
trying for NFCB. So you know, I've got my name's in the hat for NFCB right now. So I can only do one board at a time here.
Yeah, so those of you who are NFCB members, take note of that. Michelle Bradley at RecNet would certainly bring a lot of technical knowledge to the board that I'm certain that they don't have. So
Absolutely.
wishing you the best with that, Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyone else? And yes, and then the associated, we're really not doing much. We're meeting once a month. We're trying to reach out to different affiliates, and the big goal at the GRC will be to connect and make it a more active organization for those of you all who are Pacifica affiliates. So we'd love to have people involved and just make connections, you know, and support.
We want to listen to you.
That's right. And Joseph's been
Fantastic.
doing some reaching out to certain stations and kind of asking them what they need in a support organization and things like that. So you may be hearing from him soon if you're an affiliate. Okay, so unless anyone has anything else, I'm ready to dive into the LPFM topic again, if you all are. Again, this is coming up November 1st through 8th, right after the GRC. Again, the GRC is October 19th through 22nd. So just a short amount of time. Unfortunately, the GRC was planned before the FCC announced their window. But you know, it is what it is, and it'll be great to get together and get everybody energized and working on a little strategy. Let's turn it over. Let's see. So Michelle at Rec Networks has really been doing a lot. If you haven't checked out the website, that she's been working on, it's really phenomenal. Tons of information on there about finding a new frequency. Michelle, can I just turn it over to you and maybe you can give us some updates. What's happening?
I mean, you know, REC obviously, just, you know, as a matter of full disclosure, we're also in the business of helping out applicants. But, you know, there are several things on there that we got a lot of it. I mean, there's a ton of information. There's over 20 years of collected information about low power FM available at recnet.com. One of the things that's up there right now that Sharon is really talking about here is the LPFM availability maps. If you might have seen a version of that, of the big US map that's going around, that has all the little colors and little scrambled eggs all over the place. But there is an interactive version that's available. If I can get this to work. Bear with me.
That's fine. While you do that, I'll just fill in that, you know, the first step, of course, is to find out where the availability is. So we can then start reaching out to organizations in those areas and try to encourage them to apply. People can also form organizations. There actually is time. They would not be able to get the 2-year priority point, but they could form and be eligible to apply at this point.
Yeah, and it's very important that that you do have an organization formed, that you have your articles of incorporation filed and stamped by the state, and more preferable that it actually shows up in their computer system. So if somebody like me or someone else goes and tries to look them up, you know, that the information is there. Also, you can be incorporated in any state. Does not have to be the state that you're in. However, if you incorporate in a different state and you plan to do business in your home state might have the requirement that you also register with them as a foreign corporation. And so that way you can fundraise and collect money and do business and all that. But as far as the FCC goes, as long as you are incorporated in any state, make sure that information is included in your application. Include a copy of your articles of incorporation with the stamp, or you can include like the state printout on the website that says, yeah, we are a legit organization. Make sure that it has information in there on when the organization was formed especially if you're trying to claim the local established local presence point. There's there's a lot of you got to be able to establish that either your organization's headquarters or 75% of your board members have been consecutively, and I'm using the date November 1st, 2021, since November 1st, 2021, that they have been located in the area that's either, if you're it's 20 miles, unless you are in a metro market, a top 50 metro market, then it's 10 miles. If you go to recnet.com/metro, we have a list of those counties that if your transmitter, and it's where your transmitter site is, if your transmitter site is in a metro county that's listed on that page, then the 10-mile rule applies. Everywhere else, it's 20 miles, and it can be headquarters or 75% of the board. It does not have to be both. And that's also a general requirement, regardless of length, just to be a licensee, that you have to meet that 10 or 20 miles, either headquarters or 75% of the board.
And this information is all on REC Network's website. And there's also a new, more brief, concise website, which is LPFM Resources, which I pulled together with sort of a concise, bullet points of these kind of things. And just so you all know, we've talked about this before, but I've written this book. It's LPFM for Dummies. Well, low power FM for Dummies, technically. And that will be coming out. They're saying the shipping date is going to be October 3rd, which is actually my birthday. So that's cool. It'll be just a month before the LPFM window, but I think it's important people know that it's going to be there, and that will have a lot of the instructions on how do you actually run your station. There is some stuff about applying as well. But a lot of it is for what do you do now once you get your license? So I just want to keep that out there.
That makes more sense.
Yeah,
that makes more sense, because this is one thing I've been asking for years, and Sharon is finally pulling through with it. LPFM stations need an owner's manual.
Yeah.
This is the closest thing we have to an owner's manual.
That's pretty much that's what it's going to be like. And of course, everybody runs their station very differently. And that's the beautiful thing about LPFMs. But this is one way that we've managed to make it work for the past 10 years. And I'm kind of just giving away, everything that worked for us. And so hopefully, and the idea, wasn't super excited about doing a For Dummies book, but hopefully the good thing is that they have a lot of reach and they can get it out there and get the idea in front of people that might not have considered applying before. And it's a fun, easy to use, very low entry level type book. So, but I'm very fortunate to have some wonderful minds from the community radio world. Let's see, David Klon was the technical editor of the piece. So David, thank you very much for your work there. Michelle has contributed a map. And of course, we really refer to the REC Network's information quite a bit, and tell everybody they need to go check that out, because there's just no replacement for that amazing website. And then Ursula has contributed. We talk about Radio Jim's wonderful efforts down in Houston. And I've really tried to include a lot of great members of the radio community world in it. So in addition to just being a handbook for LPFM stations, it'll kind of be a fun documentation of some of the great minds in the radio world. But unfortunately, the editors have been really they cut a lot of stuff. So I'll have a lot for my next book. So if you don't see your name in there, it probably got chopped. No appreciation on my end for that. But anyway, they have to do what they have to do. But anyway, so check it out. It's been a lot of work. It's been kind of crazy, and hopefully it will, it was 6 months from contract to cover. So it was really a rush thing. We'll see how it turns out.
Well, you can always self-publish the sequel.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. I think it'll be a lot juicier.
Oh, well, especially if you have 100% creative control.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
That's what I was hoping was it be something like a self-published ebook or something that, but you went big time. You went for the For Dummies.
Well, they came to me. It was actually one of their editors came to me, and so jumped in there and went for it. So we'll see. It was a huge challenge. It was really insane. But I'm glad it's done. And maybe, yeah, either myself or someone else can do the totally, you know, sort of unscripted, off the wall, you know, the real grit of LPFM.
I would still love to see an advanced copy.
I would too, to be honest. I don't know if that's even happening because they're just really trying to get it as soon as it goes to print. They're trying to get it on shelves on account of the window. So, so I don't know if
understandable,
but I will definitely, Michelle, for sure, I'll put you on the list. If there is such a thing.
Yeah, because you know, I need to give my private feedback first before I give my public
I
feedback.
appreciate that. Yeah.
So
well,
because I'm always concerned when a mass marketed book or mass marketed information comes out, especially with a lot of the you know, the problems that we have with especially with pirate radio and cheap Chinese transmitters and crap you can buy on eBay and stuff like that. And I just worry, you know, about that. So obviously I have some concerns. So you know.
Well, I do too. Trust me, the technical stuff is not, you know, I'm my you know, expertise, I guess, is more in the everyday managing of a station versus the technical, you know, intense technical stuff with applying. But I did have Todd Urich help out with from Common Frequency, help out with a lot of that. And he definitely did address the make sure you get a legit transmitter thing. However, they did chop a lot of information and decided that that was too technical for dummies and moved a lot of it online. So I'm not certain how much of it'll actually make it. I don't honestly even know.
Yeah, well,
so we'll see together. We'll learn together, and I'll really look forward to your feedback.
Well, we'll do your Paul Harvey the rest of the story.
That's right. There you go. I love it.
Nobody on this list gets that joke.
I do.
Okay.
Well, thank you all, and you know, and thanks to everybody who's just supported that. And I mean, the main thing is we just want people to know that it's easy. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say easy, but it's possible and doable to start your own FM radio station. And they will have 3 years after applying and getting granted to start their station. And goodness knows it took us at least a year to get our grant. So, you know, you could be looking at 4 years before you actually have to be on air. And so hopefully they'll do it before that, but that gives plenty of time. Michelle?
It all depends on whether you're singleton or MX. That's going to be the big thing here. And it all depends on the number of applications they receive. You know, and there was over 3,800 applications, I think in the second generation, and they had to split it up into 3 proceedings to do the whole country. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Hopefully on the day after the window closes, we'll have all the data in here already and we'll be crunching it. So and we should have our tentative MX groups up probably by the end of the day after the window. So if it works, we're able to get this to work just like we did with the NCE window, yeah, we'll have some tentative results out pretty soon, well before the FCC does.
How prepared do we feel, Betty and Michelle, with engineering availability, time to get all this done, especially if people are just finding out about this? Are we going to be able, are you all, Michael and Michelle, going to be able to handle the amount of applicants that we're hoping will apply?
Well, yeah, I mean, I can handle, I've still got room. What I have to do right now is this week has been very difficult for me. Just because we have an FCC systems conversion going on this week. We have AM and other things going out of CDBS. The last CDBS services are going to LMS. We had to do a ton of systems work over the weekend. We're still feeling the burn from that, and we're still trying to fix all the little problems. We have 2 rulemaking proceedings, petitions for rulemaking, including my translator reform, which the deadline on that is tomorrow. That's RM 11952. And we also have RM 11953, which is not related to community radio. It's more related to shortwave and high frequency, but it is something that's in REC's wheelhouse. So we've got that going on. We've got a Play Out 1 installation in progress right now. So there's a lot of things going on right now over here, and hopefully things will start to simmer down next week. And yeah, I mean, we're taking people in stages. You know, the problem, of course, I think the problem is, you know, the problem is right now is, you know, when you come through the REC system, we go through 5 stages. You know, first we validate your corporation, then you decide on where you want it, where you want the transmitter to be. Then you decide on what the technical parameters are. Then we get into the administrative stuff, and then we start the application. Those are the 5 stages that we do over here. So everybody is along the process in a different stage. And it's, you know, for some folks, for you know, we're getting some that are coming in, they don't have their corporations in order. We have some that don't have an idea of, you know, exactly what they want, you know, where they want it, or they're asking for situations that we may not be able to do because of second adjacent waivers. You know, they want to put it, you know, 20 feet up on a rooftop, and you know, the incoming station is at 65 dB. That's just not going to happen. So, you know, we're seeing some conflicts of interest coming in already, multiple app requests from the same areas. We're trying to weed through those. I've had to modify my conflict of interest policy to try to accommodate people, but at the same time, if I feel that I can't, I'm just going to block out the area. You know, and we've already blocked out a couple places. We're getting a lot of requests from Puerto Rico. Especially with you know, with the changes in the Channel 6 rule that happened a couple years ago, where, you know, we can get now consent from a Channel 6 operator to come inside their short spaced area if we're going down below 92. Well, in Puerto Rico, most of if you look at most of the country on the LPFM map, you'll see that it's in orange or in that brown color, because that's area where only reserve band channels are available, but it's short spaced Channel 6. Fortunately, I've got the ins with the licensee of the LPTV station down there. So
what is the, let me ask you, what's the latest on the Vieques station? That station, which, you know, went through a lot of changes, Michael Brown and them helped, an NCE. Is that currently on the air or not, please?
No.
I don't know. I don't know.
It is not, Jim. It is not.
That's what I thought.
But they are interested in going for an LPFM.
Good for them. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Betty, how are things going with Michael Brown? So Brown Broadcast Services is Betty's other half. Michael Brown is the engineer there. Are you all getting lots of interest, Betty? Are you seeing much interest?
Yes, Michael said it's that he's not going to be having to go out and hustle because people are coming to him. Right now, he's out doing field work, so it would be very difficult to do that work right now. But I think the field work will be done by next week sometime, and he'll probably start doing some of the engineering work. He's got some projects for me to do as far as research and that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're winding up to get it done, but I doubt very strongly that we will be able to take on everyone who wants us to do it. People wait until the last minute. Sorry, I don't think there's going to be capacity to help them. So the sooner people can get their request in, the better chance they have of either Michi or Michael being able to help them.
Oh, we put in a cutoff for the NCE window, and right now I'm tentatively looking at a October 1st cutoff for LPFM. However, if there's last minute people at the GRC that have all their shit together,
yeah,
we could possibly accommodate. But and that's the nice thing about channeling everything through lpfm.app is I can control. First of all, lpfm.app is a great filter because it prevents the people calling and saying, I want a station in Brooklyn, or I want a station in downtown Los Angeles, or somewhere where we know LPFM is not. I got one that called me the other day for Chicago, in the central, in the loop in Chicago. Can't do it. So the tool, it allows you to, it has you put in a location, and if it's good, then it gives you the form to fill out, fill in some brief information and send it off. And then it falls into our system and it goes through that 5-stage process. And, we've got this down to we kind of have this down to a science, but we're kind of running it on an assembly line format more than just like a personal consultation kind of situation, like where Michael Brown's probably going to be more like, we're kind of more the assembly line, I guess you could say. So that way I can
That's
manage
not
the
Michael's
time and manage
style,
the
so
request.
you're right. Oh, speaking of which, here he is.
Okay, so we've got, I think the first step for people who are interested is to connect them with an engineer who can,
I don't
first
hear
of all,
you.
just
Is
see
this a
if,
butt dial?
hold on, I'm gonna mute Betty for a second. But so the first step is for them to find out if there's even availability in the area. And at that point, if there is, or before that point, to find out if there is, they need to connect with an engineer. So we've got REC Networks, which is Michelle Bradley here on the line. We've got Brown Broadcast Services, who's Betty's other half. Michelle, who else out there is, it sounds like Prometheus is pretty limited again this year.
Broadcast Tool and Die.
David, are you doing application?
I do not do applications.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I wonder
right,
about Todd
so-
Urich. He usually does, but I haven't heard from him for a long time.
I've been in
Yeah,
contact with
Todd-
him. Mhm, go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah, Todd may be out there. I do warn everybody, Caesar Guel is out there.
Oh, he is. Oh,
He's-
God.
Yes, he's already starting to post stuff.
How can he?
I've already received some intelligence on that. And so I'm going to warn you right now, Caesar Guel is out there. Also, Leo Ashcraft is out there.
Mm.
Well, for those of you who don't know,
So-
Caesar Guel put in a bunch of, you're only allowed to apply for one LPFM. And he applied for a lot under the guise of organizations that didn't even know they were applying for LPFMs. That was one of our competitors, actually, was a Guel.
Yeah, well, basically his business plan was to apply for all these stations under these different fake organization names and then try to sell them.
Mhm,
And we caught him doing that, and we caught him doing that in Miami
mhm.
and in Southern California. We actually caught that, and we actually were able to get those stopped
Yeah, thank you.
through what we're doing now. Whether REC is not going to, whether we file a big 245 application informal objection like we did 10 years ago, that's still going to be a trade secret. But, we're going to look at, I think we're going to take a different approach this time. And the idea is that in order for the FCC to actually do anything, they need solid evidence.
Mhm.
We just can't say, oh, there's 245 applications out there. They all look alike. They all have the same boilerplate statement. They all have the same engineer. They have the same everything. Oh, so many similarities. No, now that objection did prompt staff to do some further checking into the applications. The one big thing that they got some of the Guels on was site assurance, but they also nailed that in rulemaking proceedings that happened in the last 10 years. And we are now required to put on applications site assurance name, telephone number, and whether they're the site owner or an authorized rep or something like that, that information has to be on the application. The same goes for the NCE window that we just had. If you go to the REC webpage, I'm going to ask everybody to go there. If you were involved in the 2013 window and you're doing anything in this window, we do have an article on the REC net. I think it should still be on the front page that describes all the rule changes and all those changes that took place since the last window, because there's been quite a few. So we have a complete summary of all the rule changes, all the systems changes, all the procedure policy changes that have happened since the 2013 window till now. So that way you're up to date with what's changed, because there has been some changes.
Sounds like a session, Mishi.
Yeah, sure does.
Yeah, well, I'm just basically, I put it out there for, for, like I said, all the second generation people, so they know what's going on in the third generation, because there have been some significant changes.
Do we know if Al Davis is doing engineering? I haven't heard from Al in forever. Is he?
I haven't either.
What about Pete Treatish? Does he do engineering preparation application? I know he does installation, but I don't know if he does this side. I'm just trying to get a list of.
I don't know.
Is there anyone else? There was somebody, let's see, down in Arkansas that helped them out, that did the solar installation. I don't remember who that is. I'm just worried. I mean, of course, you all are our first stops here, but I'm just getting worried as we get closer. You know, I don't want anyone to not be able to apply because they're, they just found out.
There's two groups of people that worry me the most. Number one is those that do broadcast applications but have really no experience with LPFM. And I've seen this quite a bit where they try to use translator rules and stuff like that. They don't understand the nuances of LPFM. And also too, those people who try to do their applications themselves, and they use the free websites like the R-Free, I think that's still around. They use the data from R-Free, but they don't know how to use it, especially if there's a second adjacent issue. They don't know how to use it. They're not consulted on how to properly do an educational statement. This is the reason why we are not publishing channels this year. If you go to lpfm.app, you'll notice that the channel number is blocked out. All you see is the first digit. We did that for a reason, because people stole data from us in the second generation and filed bad applications, and it has REC's name all over it. And we just did not want to, we didn't want to have anything to do with that. And so this is just, we need to make sure. I mean, 70% of the applications, I believe, in the previous window went through hired help. We need to go for nearly 100%.
Yeah.
Very few, and especially if there's a second adjacent involved, you must have hired help, because only a few of us have the systems that can do the contours. And we understand, we understand the depression angles and the patterns for the antennas, and the FCC rubber stamped a lot of junk in the last window. And, we want to make sure that our applications are good quality applications, especially if we're trying to get an LP250 service. Right now, we've got to be on our best behavior, because, we've got Anna Gomez coming. We may have a shot for LP250 next year. Who knows? But as long as we have LPFMs out there that are running commercials and running up 5-figure fines, we're not going to, the NAB is going to have our lunch, and we need to one up the NAB.
That's for sure. Here.
I wasn't able to unmute myself here. I believe Al Davis is not involved in LPFM at this time.
Okay. All right.
That's what I've heard.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard from him, and I was wondering. Okay. Well, I hope he's doing all right. Thank you for the update.
I wonder what Paul Boehm has been up to.
Paul is working with Prometheus still, as is Will Floyd. So they are still in the game.
Are they maintaining their website with all of its,
Kind of.
I think it's pretty much based on the previous window. So
yeah.
I don't think they've updated it too much, except to say that it might be out of date. Yeah, I think they're just like, those two guys are the only ones there right now, and so they're pretty overwhelmed. But I think Will Floyd has some kind of engineering thing happening too, but he's down in Marfa, Texas now, I believe.
Yeah, Will has established a consulting firm doing RF stuff, so I'm sure he'll be active, as will Paul.
Cool. Well,
he's in Marfa?
Yeah, he's in Marfa, I heard. Just heard that the other day.
Yeah, he is.
Go ahead.
I work with him on occasion.
Do you know what the name of their group is? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's called Field Effect.
Okay.
Field Effect.
That's a good name. Cool.
Yeah.
Good guys.
Cool.
That's Prometheus guys. Yeah, Jim, you're gonna have to reach out.
And a hot ping pong player.
I've heard there. Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Jim, I heard there's an LPFM available in Marfa. So that'd be cool.
Well, they got a big ass NPR affiliate out there that just print their own money. They're some of the most well-connected people I know.
All the more reason for an LPFM. Hey,
I guess so.
Let's look at Michelle's. This is the REC networks. I've been working with this, Michelle. This, the LPFM wide area availability map. Michelle, do you want to tell us a little bit about this at all? I mean, I think you have.
This was the map. Yeah, this was the map I was talking about earlier that I put the link in the chat. And all it just does is, I mean, this report took 5 days to run, by the way, because this covers every nook and cranny of the country except for a good chunk of Alaska. We did Anchorage and we did the Panhandle, but otherwise it covers everywhere. And you know, you can select a metro area, you could select you can also go by, if you know the general idea of where the coordinates are, you can go that way. And you know, pull up a map for somewhere. Yeah, pull up Louisville.
Here, I'm gonna do Louisville, if you don't mind.
And so when you see
curious
this
about the
map come
outskirts.
up, it does take a while to load up because there's a lot of dots on that map and it does use a lot of browser resource. But that is kind of what we're doing is we are looking at 1 minute of latitude and longitude. We did this, we scoured the whole entire country, 1 minute by 1 minute, minute by minute by minute, and to create this map. Now the color codes, pretty much if it's green, that's fantastic. That just means that there's available channels. You don't need a waiver. You don't need there's no waiver and no predicted interference. Of course, that's based on distance and not on actuality. And your mileage may vary whenever on these interference predictions. Let's see, what do we got? We've got the let's see, we go light blue next, which is the areas where it doesn't require a waiver but may require doesn't require a waiver but may receive incoming interference. Then we get into the purple. The purple is the areas that do require second adjacent waivers, and because of their locations from based on distance to the second adjacent, it's going to be harder to get a waiver because we'll either need a taller tower, bigger antenna, more out in the more out in an open areas as opposed to being in closer in. I mean, if you scroll down the map, and scroll down, not the map, the actual page. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see an explanation of all the colors. So you'll see the dark blue. So and then the purple. And so so obviously in the urban areas, you're going to want to look for the dark blue areas because those are the ones where it will be probably easier to put a station on the roof of a building. Yeah, you can it's kind of a tacky zoom in, but remember we're only doing minute by minute, so it doesn't really get too much resolution there. That's the resolution. If you want to click on okay, you can do that too.
Okay.
But if you click on on that little blue diamond thing in the upper right there, if you click on that, you got different maps you can look at. So if you want to look at it using an OpenStreetMap overlay, you can do that so you can get better street information and such like that. So there's different map tiles you can use. You can zoom in. You can use the navigation buttons on the corners there. To go, to scan the map to go, to move over, because we only have the major cities in the drop down. But if you know generally where a location is by latitude and longitude, you can dial it in there. And sometimes, like I said, if your browser may start locking up sometimes on this, or it may take a little bit of too much resource, or sometimes you just might have to just refresh it. I have no
just
control
refreshed
over
it. It works. Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm doing a lot on my computer right now too, so that's a great tool, Michelle. Thank you very much for that.
Very much so.
Anybody have any questions before I leave that? I just wanted to ask, so how reliable is this? If we go to an area and it's red, it's like, that's just it, too bad, you're out of luck? Or are there still like weird chances, like someone turned in a frequency or something like that? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. The list is based off the cutoff date that the FCC has set. Now, the FC 73807 of the rules basically states that an LPFM station must protect a bunch of things. And one of them, especially in regards to full power, is any pending application that was filed prior to the release of the public notice announcing the date of the window. So that's the cutoff date that we used for this data. That's the cutoff date that's in lpfm.app. But that doesn't, so that's the date that we decided to cut all this data off. Now, there could be subsequent application activity that could still impact this availability. And there could be subsequent application activity that may be positive, where a license to cover is finally granted to a full power or to a translator, and suddenly a certain piece of spectrum is freed up because now they're over somewhere else where during the application process they were blocking both areas. So it can vary, and and the thing is that the tools itself, they have we have the data frozen in time. We froze it on the FCC cutoff date. But if you come to me, if you come to Michael, we have the most current data, including all the activity that takes place. We get notified of an application in our systems within 30 minutes of it being filed. So that's
Cool.
the magic of the REC ELMS system, that we have that information, but that information is not reflected on our external tools like the map or the other one, but it is reflected on what we see internally.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because like if we have a group that's just so gung-ho and they really want a station, but it's looking red on the map, then to just go ahead and have them reach out to you or Michael, just to be sure, or that you can't find any options for them.
Yeah, just run it, just run it. And my intention is not to really do a sales pitch for REC, because to me, I consider this neutral ground. But I will say this: even if you decide to use somebody else, you go to lpfm.app, you put in the location, and you go into location search, you put in the location. If it comes up and says there's no channels, there's going to be a grid that's going to show up. And what we're doing is we are looking in 8 different directions, 1 mile out, so up to 5 miles. And it will say, okay, you may have availability 3 miles to the west. It'll tell you that. And then you can start looking over there. So if you're very close, but if there's no availability within within 5 miles in any direction, you're just going to get one big grid of red indicators that says, nope, can't do it.
Right.
And that's why we have the big map out. That's why we have the map we just saw out there, so people can go there first and just get a general idea. That way they'll know, there's no LPFM in Brooklyn. There's no LPFM in Baltimore. There's nothing in Washington, D.C. There's nothing in the Bay Area. Yeah. San Francisco. No, but South Bay. Yeah, there's a little bit there. There's a little bit there on the peninsula. Maybe a little bit up in very northern Marin County, up, or up that way. But so the people can get an idea of where the of where the basic availability is. That's the reason why we put that map out there. So, because I don't want people to just sit there and just keep typing in sites and not getting anything when there's absolutely nothing available anywhere near them. And I really don't want them calling me saying, why can't I get a station in Brooklyn? So, and like I said, we've already got the calls for Chicago. So, that's the reason why we do this.
There was an LPFM that got turned in Chicago not too long ago. Is that frequency already gone?
It's probably because, keep in mind that FM translators use contours and not distance separation. So a translator can move in and hug an LPFM's contour, and suddenly, bam, the LPFM is short space. If the LPFM goes away, the spectrum's still not available because it's short space to the translator.
Oh, okay. I see.
So yeah, an LPFM going away does not automatically mean spectrum available.
I see. Okay, interesting. All right. Well, thanks for clarifying. And just to just to put like a little bee in the bonnet in the LPFM world, you know, stations can retransmit another LPFM. They cannot retransmit another full power station, but they can retransmit an LPFM. And there have been instances where LPFMs have a friend. So an LPFM can only have one frequency of their own. That board and any of those board members can only be associated with one LPFM. However, if there's another organization with different board members that wants to apply for a frequency and build a tower, they can retransmit the programming on that.
Yeah, and let me just throw in some caveats on that, because yeah, there's nothing wrong with one LPFM rebroadcasting another. I mean, the rules just basically specifically allow it. However, the rules do prohibit any kind of management agreement, time brokerage agreements, any kind of administrative agreements between the two. Each station has to make the decision independently, have their own independent board, be controlled. Their programming decisions are controlled by those, and there can't be any cross funding. You know, you can't say station A is going to pay station B to rebroadcast them. That you can't do that in LPFM. That's a huge no-no. So, you know, I mean, because what the LPFM, what the programming is nothing more than just a radio network.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different than us running Democracy Now! Live.
And it's not a bad thing for LPFM. Yeah. It's a bad thing for LPFMs to think about, because of course we are not protected. And if something happens and, you know, some station is able to bump us off the air, they can actually do that. And we've seen that happen with a few different LPFMs. So if you can find a friendly organization that follows all those rules and you don't think it's going to try to take over your station in any kind of way or whatever. But if you can find a friendly organization to apply in your area or a nearby area and they can rebroadcast your signal, you know, that might not be a bad strategy. Betty, thank you. I'm so glad you all are doing better. Give our love to Michael. Definitely. And thank you all for what you're doing with the LPFM.
Also on that issue, fundraising and underwriting. You got to be careful if you're doing underwriting and you're doing the simulcast thing. If you can figure out a way to opt out and run separate and do separate underwriting for one station or the other, that would be the cleanest. Because like I said, that's no different than a radio network running local commercials. That would be the cleanest way to do that. There are ways to do that in Rivendell. There's ways to do it in Playout One. So, I mean, some of the automation systems can support it to do opt-out advertising. And then let Stations B's organization do the fundraising in their area. Let Station A do the fundraising in their area. Keep the books separate. That's the key thing. There's got to be a brick wall between the two organizations. Otherwise, somebody could cry foul at renewal time. And if they've got enough evidence, they can go. The Charlottesville situation is still a pending issue with the 5 stations.
Right.
Because
right.
Saga, the whole saga Charlottesville 5, which I think is down to 4 now, is still pending with the FCC. And that's exactly the situation that they're being accused of, is running 4 stations with all them being interlinked in various ways. So you got to keep that brick wall up. There is a way to do it. There are some that are not doing it that way. I know a couple of them, and trust me, I know who you are. But it's not my place to tattle, because snitches get stitches.
That's
so,
right. I sure do. Right. Well, I just think that's a good strategy for LPFMs to think about. If they can find a friendly organization, again, that obeys all those rules, hey, that's the only option we have for spreading our reach, at least at this point. So interesting.
And also too, I'm going to suggest this: LPFM stations that have good programming that is not specifically focused on their community, but has a general audience, please syndicate your programming on AudioPort. You do not have to be a Pacifica member station to distribute on AudioPort, because trust me, a lot of us are going to be looking for fill-in programming. And, you know, we're always looking, you know, over here, we're always looking for syndicated talk programming. Soon we'll be looking for syndicated music programming. You know, so, you know, you don't have to be a Pacifica affiliate to post your programming on AudioPort.
Yeah, that's a great way to get the shows out there. And we've been drawing a lot on WXOX. When we need someone, you know, some fill in and stuff, we'd love to draw on AudioPort. Lots of great shows up there as well.
Yes.
Well, we're getting close to an hour and a half here. I definitely want to get us out of here to get back to our real lives. I know everyone's very busy, but thank you all.
I'm past my bedtime.
Well, thank you, Michelle. We appreciate it.
I got special permission till 9, so
Okay.
I am going to feel the wrath of the other half for this extra 22 minutes.
Oh no, well, we'll have to give you extra appreciation.
I gave you 22 minutes. She'll give me the world.
Well, everyone, I've posted on the chat if you're not a member of the GRC listserv and didn't get the invitation to this meeting, there's a link there to join the listserv. David Kahn of Broadcast Tool and Die runs that. So if for some reason you don't get through there, reach out to David and he'll get you set up. And the next meeting, we're doing these on the 4th Tuesday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So what's that make the next one in August? Let's go to the calendar.
Last Tuesday is going to be the 29th.
The 4th Tuesday. So 1, 2, 3.
4th Tuesdays. That'll be the 22th.
The 22th. Okay. So everyone put down the 22th of August. At 8 p.m. Eastern time again. So thanks to everybody for accommodating and being here. It's always great to meet up. We have a lot to talk about. As I'm traveling, I'm doing a lot of traveling this summer. And I'm just trying to tell every bookstore, record store, nonprofit organization that I run to as I'm traveling, letting them know about this LPFM window. They all wanted to know how they find out more. And so that's why I created the LPFM resources webpage just as an introduction to what it is. A lot less technical than Michelle's REC Networks website that has all the technical stuff that they need to know once they've decided to take the plunge. So
the plain English information is at lpfm.app.
Okay, cool. And and I think just if you have some time to spend with that map and find areas where you know people or nonprofits, it's really important that we get the word out about this and get folks to apply. This is the first window in 10 years, and we have no idea if it's even ever going to happen again. So we want to get as many frequencies in the hand of community stations as possible. They can always take 3 years to raise the money and build the station. They can also transfer the license to another nonprofit that meets all the qualifications if they find they can't do it. That's correct, right, Michelle?
They can do it after 18 months, after the construction permit's been granted for 18 months. This is one of the things that I was able to get into the rule changes and you'll see that on that page I was telling you about, but we do have the failing stations rule now where after 18 months, an assignment can be done to another organization, and then they have to finish it up in the rest of that 18 months. They're not going to get an extension for after 3 years. No extensions. That's the other thing we got rid of is the extensions. It's 3 years now, not 18 months with an extension. It's 3 years, no extensions.
So let's get organizations to apply for these things and let's tie them up, and then let's figure out what we can do with them and how we can help them build stations. And even if it means finding new organizations to jump in, but I just think it's really important, and I hope you all help get the word out. We all obviously know how important radio is to our communities, and there's a lot of communities. Louisville didn't have a college or community station before our LPFM, and now we have 3. So it's made a huge change in this area, so it can in a lot of other communities as well. So thank you all for everyone who's doing the work for this, and God bless the engineers who have got a rough road ahead of them. And thank you so much to WTSQ, again, Damon, for stepping up and hosting the GRC this year. Super excited about that. October 19th, it begins. So I guess that's it for this time. And thank you all so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right.
Take
See
care.
you all on the 22nd.
We'll see you all soon.
Sounds great. Stay in touch.